Every society or race is endowed with certain basic ethics that regulates and govern their existence as a people. A recalcitrant heart that rebels against the immutable order of God is open to ancestral wrath. Ancestral judgments are great, ravaging and inescapable. A people that fail to apply themselves to the tenets of wisdom and reason are unavoidably confined to suffer the inevitable fate of self-destruction.
Obabo Benin bon mwe koni na ya fe eria be ya mwe koni ya ni boba si le do mi ya ri nya edo ayala la to ya mwe koni ya no tie we am no bag yo e me no tane no fie gberie o go ba e no o go ba do du
Conceptually, the Edo people, particularly the Beninese, consider every perceived attempt to tarnish, undermine or challenge the sacrosanct authority of His Royal Majesty, Omonoba Nedo Ukwakolopolo Oba of Benin, as an affront and a sacrilege. An action that attracts spontaneous disgust, anger and outright condemnation. Since Oba Ewai II ascended the throne in 2016, various groups of individuals have openly expressed satisfaction with the achievements of His Royal Majesty, which have attracted encomiums from members of the international community like the British government, the American envoy to Nigeria, the European Union, the Swedish government, religious leaders, and other organizations. Specifically, everyone is happy and appreciative of His Royal Majesty Omonoba Ewai II, Oba of Benin, over his decision to ban the Community Development Association (CDA), which was promptly supported by the Edo State government through the instrument of legislation giving legal vent to the Omonoba's pronouncement, which outlawed the CDA. The Benin monarch's intervention was in direct response to the widespread outcry by the people over the unwholesome, antagonistic and inhuman activities of the operators of Community Development Association, who, in their selfish desires, transformed themselves into what was generally regarded as community destructive association and land grabbers who constantly unleashed terror on prospective land developers who were unable to comply with their evil and exploitative policy. On this premise, expressions of accolades to Omonoba Ewa II is now unending, and the people continually venerate the Oba as an ordained messianic king who has come to rescue them out of a long-term, excruciating deprivation and bondage. In addition, the achievement of the reigning monarch, His Royal Majesty Omonoba Ewa II, Oba of Benin, in his relentless fight against human trafficking and cultism is legendary. Furthermore, the outstanding and commendable roles of Oba Ewa II's foundation, which was set up to resettle and rehabilitate victims of human trafficking and illegal migration through impartation of diverse keys and financial empowerment to the victims, who remain grateful to the Oba for the opportunity given to them to reignite their lives positively, is in the public domain. To buttress the pragmatic resolve of His Royal Majesty Oba Ewa II's fight against human trafficking, the Daily Independent newspaper reported in the edition dated Friday, May 24, 2019, under the caption, "The Invocation of the Gods," on its back page as follows. A year or two ago, when the menace of human trafficking for which Benin had become notorious appeared intractable and the federal government got clueless, not knowing what to do, the priests of Benin took to town and pronounced dire consequences for those indulging in the act. The business immediately became unattractive, and what followed was the ongoing massive repatriation from Libya and other parts of the world. Undoubtedly, these various imparting gestures of Omonoba Ewa II have further endeared the revered Benin monarch to the people and the international community. Characteristically, therefore, it was not unexpected when some strata of Edo society with complete elements of traditionalities congregated at Urukpota premises at the Obavarame Square, Benin City on Friday the 17th of May 2019 in an apparent stimulus to the pervasive, subversive, rebellious and treacherous acts against the revered throne of Benin Kingdom by the likes of Richie Arisco Osenegi, Uyi Ogiame, Tony Ogiame, Murphy Edoz, Iyore Mose, and other enemies of the Oba and the land. with the full complements of their spiritual endowments. Traditional priests of different divinities, deities, fraternities, cults, and other stakeholders in the spirit realm synergize to invoke and place a curse on these identified enemies of the crown and other evildoers. Urokota premises, venue of the uncommon event, was filled to the brim by priests, priestesses, chiefs, enigi, market women, and other interest groups to raise their voices to invoke and place curses on these known societal deviants that flagrantly and scandalously impute insults and venom on the sanctity of the sacred crown of Benin. Notable among the array of spiritualists are Ohehwae, Ohovia, Ohenihu, Ohake, Ohehoho, Ohogba, Ebokebo, Oridia, Ayelala, Isango, Eho Osioba, and the Ewise group. To begin the invocation of curses, the spiritualists first gathered various traditional intermediary implements of communication and intercession to perform the rites of convoking the power of the guiding spirits of the ancestors of the land, the uncountable divinities and deities, to come and infuse their actions with the seal of efficacy. Afterward, the procession of the spiritualists moved through some traditional routes in Benin City, where they visited a number of traditional sites such as Awediendo, Awosanogbelaka, Eimidu, Ekpenede, Awemota shrines, among others. In each of the locations, the visibly charged spiritualists lay bare their grievances and resentments arising out of the state of disheartenment and the need for them to visit these evildoers that pervert our customary norms with monumental afflictions.
Media. Yeah, yeah, wapa. Onyekwa. Yeah, so. Na la pano kete.
The spiritually intense event came to a peaceful climax with prayers for the continuous well-being, prosperity, robust health and longevity of the Omonoba Nedu Ukwu-Akpolokpolo Ewa II, Oba of Benin, and the royal household, as well as the peace and progress of Edo land. In solidarity with the Benin monarch, Omonoba Nedu Ukwu-Akpolokpolo Ewa II, Oba of Benin, and the action of the spiritualists, feelers from Edo people across the globe revealed total approval. They stressed that the actions of the spiritualists were overdue and pledged their unalloyed loyalty to His Royal Majesty, Omonoba Nedu Ukwu-Akpolokpolo Ewa II, Oba of Benin. Prior to the actions of the spiritualists, a group of Edo youths under the aegis of Benin National Congress expressed a deep sense of resentment and took to the streets of Benin City to denounce what they described as unwarranted assault on the revered throne of Benin and the attempt being made by Richie Arisco-Osemege to desecrate the sanctity of the Benin customary norms and culture. The youths posited that to avoid a breakdown of law and order with its resultant calamity, the police authority and other security agencies should, as a matter of urgency, effect the arrests of Richie Arisco-Osemege and his co-travelers for their continuous violation of the chieftaincy laws of Edo State. The Edo youths cautioned that failure to heed to their advice may be injurious to the peace and harmony in the state.
We believe that Edo Oba Edo, and any attempt for infidels, impostors, ingrates, treacherous or rebellious elements, to undermine the well-established position of the Benin's, will definitely be met by a very clear resistance, intellectually and by every means necessary to preserve the culture of our people.
Honorable Blackie Ehi Ogiamie. Omonoba, our father, knows I'm Ogiamie. He knows the family is a large family. I'm from there too. But I know that Omonoba is the custodian of the Benin. They say Oba Nyato se webo.
For a son of a woman to come out in Benin and be trying to challenge the palace is a taboo in our ground. It's a taboo in Benin Kingdom. Aristo went so far and is born of a female in Ogiame's family. Arisco is not born of a man in Ogiame's family.
Similarly, the Esogma of Benin, Chief David Edebi, challenged the Edo State Police Command to rise to its statutory responsibilities. Reacting to the lingering violation of the law regulating chieftaincy matters in Edo State by Richie Arisco-Osemege, the Esogma called on the police to do the needful by effecting the arrest of Richie Arisco-Osemege for unlawfully arrogating the Ogiamie chieftaincy title to himself. The Esogban paid his mind during a meeting of the Edo State Council of Traditional Rulers and Chiefs.
To come out in Benin Kingdom that has a monarchy that has lasted over 1,000 years, creating himself as an imperial majesty. One thing that a Benin man forbids, that he cannot tolerate, is to, in his presence, say anything derogatory to the monarchy. The Benin man would choose to die. The truly Benin man would prefer to die than to listen to anything that goes against his own order.
In all of these, it is not far-fetched from the religiosity of people's perception of the Benin monarchy that the revered monarch, His Royal Majesty Omonoba Nedo Akpolokpolo Ewa II Nogidigan Oba of Benin, is indeed a living deity.